I mean, the nerve of that woman threatening me with the police. I am the child's mother. She has no right to talk to me like that.
Obviously, Mrs. Saxon knew what she was doing, since the little fella is not with you.
Well, what I should have done is marched right into the bedroom and taken Jaimey anyway.
Why didn't you?
Because of Mrs. Goodman, the babysitter. She locked the door while I was on the phone.
Seems like your tactics left something to be desired.
Well, maybe. But the worst thing about it is, now they're alerted to me, and I know she's going to go right over to Logan and tell him. Damn that woman. This is the second time she's made trouble for me.
That's right. I'll never forget the day Mrs. Geraldine Saxon walked right into our little love nest.
Ah, yes, I remember. And, of course, the first thing she did was go tell Logan. She denied it, of course, but she has the tongue of a serpent. Of course, she pretends to be all full of airs and the Dowager Queen of Monticello, but she's really just a common gossip.
All right, so she tells your husband what your intentions are. Surely that changes your mind.
About getting my baby back? Why should it?
Well, obviously, you can't get it back anymore. They're going to be on their guard.
Look, if Plan A doesn't work, there's always Plan B.
Just what is Plan B?
Well, I haven't worked out the details yet, but I know one thing.
What's that?
Well, now that they're alerted to me, someone else is going to have to take Jaimey. I can't get this knot loose. You will help me, won't you?
I did what I could for him. There wasn't any need to set the leg. No bones were broken.
Oh, thank God.
Well, that doesn't mean there couldn't be something more serious with it. I mean, torn ligaments, who knows the extent of it. But we'll have him examined at the hospital and...
Oh, no, Daddy. You mustn't send him to the hospital. You can't.
Emily, that man up there has been through some kind of physical and emotional trauma. Half his body is covered with bruises. And those cuts on his face and arms may take weeks and weeks to heal. As far as I know, there could be other things wrong.
You're just saying that because you want him out of here. Now, I know he can't be that badly injured.
You want to believe that because you want to keep him here. Because you're convinced he's the reincarnation of Kirk Michaels.
No, he is not a reincarnation. He is Kirk.
Emily, how can you believe such a thing? It's sheer madness. Or should I say, sheer wishful thinking.
But didn't you see him? Didn't you see the resemblance?
There's a superficial resemblance, but that's not unusual. I mean, they were both tall and dark. But I knew Kirk, too, remember?
Yes, but you remember him as a boy 10 years ago. Well, he's a man now, and he's changed.
It can't be him, Emily. I don't know who he is. And he can't seem to remember his own name.
Well, whatever happened to him affected his memory, that's all.
Well, maybe it did. Or maybe he realizes it's more convenient not to remember his name right now.
You've been talking to Molly, obviously.
Molly has a great deal of common sense.
Well, it won't do you any good talking to her because she never knew Kirk.
But I did. Emily, I really think you're just fooling yourself. You've had it in the back of your head for years that Kirk would come back here someday. And even as many times as I told you that it would never happen.
And now you're just trying to prove yourself right, even though he's upstairs right now in that bedroom.
Emily, please listen to me. Let me call the authorities.
No.
No. It'll be better for him and for you. They'll take care of his injury, find out who he is.
And then I'll never see him again. That's what you want, isn't it, Daddy?
I didn't say that.
That's what you've always wanted. You never wanted me to see Kirk again. Well, this time you're not going to have your own way. Because if he leaves this house, I'll leave too.
The body of Draper Scott was returned to Monticello today. Victim of the tragic train accident which took place at Grand Falls in Graham County.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Looks very good on you in his office.
Well, I just wish I felt at home in it.
Yeah?
You're very early.
Am I? I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to have an early dinner tonight. If you've got work to do, there's no rush.
No, I have a brief meeting with Nicole before her broadcast, and then we can leave.
Well, like I say, there's no hurry. As long as one of us is home by 9 o'clock, that's when Mrs. Goodman said she had to leave.
Yes, I know. Did you by chance talk to Mrs. Goodman today?
Talked to her this morning. She said Jaimey was fine.
Well, Logan, when I talked to her this afternoon, she...
Oh, Logan, I didn't know you were here.
Oh, hi, Nicole. I just came to take the boss out to dinner.
Nicole, the script seems fine to me. You handled it very well.
Thank you. It's about Draper. The services tomorrow.
Well, I guess I'll see you there, won't I? Look, you two have business to talk about. I'll be right outside.
No, wait, it's not personal. I just came in to tell Geraldine I'm leaving after the broadcast. I'm going over to police headquarters. I have to tape an interview with Chief Mallory.
That's fine.
We've already gotten interviews with Deborah and Steve and Calvin about the reversal of the murder conviction. We were considering asking the district attorney's office to make a statement.
I told Nicole I didn't know how you'd feel about that.
Well, I wouldn't feel very good about it. Everybody in my office who was connected with that trial is feeling pretty lousy right now.
Well, actually, we were thinking of asking Cliff for the interview since he's the one who actually handled the prosecution.
Don't think he'd be very crazy about the idea either. It's a very sensitive point with all of us.
Logan, it wasn't his fault any more than it was yours.
No, I suppose. But if anybody's in line to get some heat, it's gonna... I'm sorry. I hear April is staying with you and Miles.
Yes, she is. At least until the baby's out of the hospital.
How's she doing?
She's holding on. Taking care of Adam today.
That's another thing I have to thank you for. Recommending Mrs. Goodman. Jaimey's really taken to her.
Well, she's pretty wonderful. Listen, you two, I gotta go. The show's almost ready. Logan, it was nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Nicole.
Bye-bye.
Okay, what's all this about Mrs. Goodman? I mentioned her twice. You've winced twice. What were you going to say about her?
Logan, when I talked to Mrs. Goodman this afternoon, Raven was there.
She was? Why?
Well, apparently she took it into her head to take Jaimey for a walk.
Oh, my God. Mrs. Goodman didn't let her, did she?
No. No, thank heaven. Mrs. Goodman sensed there was something wrong. Fortunately, I called just then. And I talked to Raven myself. I told her that unless she left that hotel immediately, I was going to call the police.
Good for you.
It was only an idle threat, of course. Wasn't at all likely that the police would have jurisdiction, particularly since it is her own son.
Geraldine, I'm beginning to have a very ugly suspicion. I think it's just possible that Raven was planning to take off with Jaimey, sort of take possession of him. She had lunch this afternoon with Cliff Nelson. He told me about it, and he said that, well, I think he may have given her the idea that all she has to do is to take him back. Give me a rain check on that dinner night, will you? I think it's very important that I talk to Raven, and I mean now.
No, if it's not chill, don't bother. We'll just have cocktails. Get me a double vodka martini and, just a second. Raven, what are you drinking these days?
What happened to the champagne?
Not available.
Oh, dear. Well, then, I guess I'll just have white wine.
That's not going to give you much of a glow.
Trying to get me drunk?
No, I just think you need something strong. After all, you went through an ordeal.
All right. An old-fashioned, please.
Okay, one old-fashioned. Make that a double old-fashioned. Yes, just a small tray. Thank you very much. I ordered some cocktail sandwiches, too.
I don't want a cocktail sandwich. I want a steak. I want a big, juicy, red, rare steak about 4 inches thick.
We can take care of that later.
Ah, so you've invited yourself to dinner again.
I think you need company. You're badly shaken up. Matter of fact, so am I. Ha. This suggestion that I try my hand at kidnapping. Oh, I'm sorry, Raven. There are many things I'd do for you, but committing a federal crime is not one of them.
Are you telling me you won't help me?
I'll help you, but I won't do the actual abduction of the child. Ah, come on, don't you see? If you got caught carrying this little bundle of joy, all you have to do is bat those bedroom brown eyes at the officer and say, "I'm his mother, sir." That's an advantage I don't have.
I guess you're right. But you could help me.
How?
I don't know. You can think of something. You have an evil mind. I know that.
Thank you, darling. I assume that's meant as a compliment.
Of course. I just have so much to think about in order to make this thing work. You see, I have to get Jaimey back from Logan without causing too much trouble. And then I have to petition the court so that Logan can't get Jaimey back again.
You're not worried about that part?
Yes, I'm worried. Logan's the district attorney. I know he's going to take some kind of legal action.
Well, undoubtedly, he'll start by claiming you're an unfit mother.
Well, if he does, I'll take his words and shove them right down his throat. I am not an unfit mother. I haven't had a chance to be any kind of a mother at all.
Of course, you took that chance away yourself.
I did not. It's Logan's fault. He's the one that broke up the marriage. I couldn't be much of a mother then, could I? All right. I know that it was wrong of me to go to London and leave my baby, but it just means I'm human, doesn't it?
Oh, you're very human, darling.
I mean, I didn't mean to abandon the baby. I was going to come back and take him.
Please, Raven, do me a favor. Lie to others. Lie to yourself if you want, but please, do not lie to me.
I'm not lying.
Oh, come on. You had absolutely no intention of ever coming back. You gave that little bundle to the Scots. You even told them to adopt him.
Yeah, well, they didn't, did they? And the only one that can say that I tried to give the baby away is April.
Your best friend.
Yeah. And she'll stick by me. You just wait and see. She's a woman, and she has a baby. She knows what it's like to be separated from your own child.
I'm deeply touched.
I just have to make her feel sympathetic towards me. I have to, because if she's not on my side, Logan is going to kill me in court.
No, why don't you give her a call now? No time like the present to start your crusade.
Because I don't think she'll even talk to me. She's still angry at me for testifying for you in the courtroom. Oh, Elliott, what am I going to do? A couple of hours ago, everything was okay, and now I don't know what to do.
I think you need to relax a little.
You always have one thing on your mind.
When I'm with you, baby. All right. Let's get into that bedroom.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
better.
The television's in there. I want to see the news.
The body of Draper Scott was returned to Monticello earlier today, victim of the tragic train accident which took place at Graham Falls in Graham County. His was not the only body recovered from the burned, demolished railroad cars, but there was a special irony to his death, because alongside the remains of Draper Scott was a casket containing the remains of Sergeant Sam Dwyer, the police deputy who had been assigned to escort Mr. Scott to Redstone Penitentiary, where he was to begin serving a 15-year jail term for murder. That conviction has now been officially overturned by the court due to the arrest and confession of Nola Madison for the slaying of Margot Dorn. Draper Scott made his return journey once again in the company of Sam Dwyer, no longer linked by the handcuffs which connected them in death. Services will be held tomorrow afternoon at the Monticello Funeral Home. That's the 6 o'clock report. This is Nicole Drake for WMON News. I'll be back with you at 11 when I'll have a taped interview with Police Chief Derek Mallory, expressing his views of the Draper Scott case.
This whole thing gives me the shivers. Dead bodies, and Draper's one of them. I can't believe it. Somebody I once held in my own arms. I think it's awful.
Sounds as if you're not going to attend the funeral.
Are you kidding? I never go to funerals. I can't bear them.
Seems to me you should go to this one.
Because it's Draper, that's all the more reason not to go.
Draper's widow will be there. It'll be a perfect opportunity to renew your friendship.
That's true. It would be the ideal time.
I'm sure you can manage to look appropriately sad and sympathetic.
Are you kidding, darling? I can cry at the drop of a hat. You are a genius.
Appreciation, finally.
Oh, yes. I'll go to the funeral. And I won't leave April's side. Until she finally realizes that I am her very best friend in the whole wide world.
He may be asleep. I gave him a sedative.
Doesn't matter.
I don't like you going up there alone, Emily.
He can barely move, Daddy. He's not going to harm me. Besides, he has no reason to harm me.
Because he's Kirk?
Yes. And even though you don't believe it yet, you will. Just as soon as he gets his memory back.
Dr. Gold? Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine, Molly. Just a little discomfort.
Miss Emily said you saw a doctor in Chicago.
Oh, it was more of a social visit, Molly. Will Finch is an old friend of mine. I let him put the stethoscope on me just to keep him happy.
Are you sure there isn't anything I can do? Can I get you a drink or something?
I'll be all right, Molly. I'll be myself in just a few seconds.
Well, I can't blame you for not feeling well, considering the homecoming you've had.
Yes, it's quite a shock.
Oh, I'm so sorry it happened, Doctor, but there was nothing I could do about it.
I know, Molly.
I have never seen Miss Emily act this way. I mean, usually she's so frightened of prowlers, especially when you're not home. But this time...
Well, she is a physician's daughter, Molly. She saw that the man was hurt.
Well, then why didn't she let me call the ambulance? Or the police, or somebody?
She obviously thought that she could take care of him herself.
It isn't only that. You heard her. She said he was Kirk somebody.
Yes, Molly, I heard her. But I'm afraid it's just wishful thinking on my daughter's part.
Oh, then this Kirk was someone she liked.
Yes, someone she liked. Very much.
She showed me a photograph of him, but it was taken 10 years ago. She said that this Kirk Michaels actually lived in this house.
Yes, he lived here, but not very long. Just a few months.
I see. You mean he was a servant?
No, not exactly. He did odd jobs around the place, but that wasn't the reason he was here. My wife brought him here.
I see.
My wife was a school teacher, you know. Very active in school activities and county educational programs.
Doctor, don't you think you ought to lie down a while?
Yeah, I guess you're right, Molly. I am a bit tired from the trip. Took longer to get here than I thought it would. There was a railroad accident last night. It slowed things down quite a bit.
Well, I've got your bed all ready for you. You can go up whenever you want.
Thank you, Molly. Oh, and Molly.
Yes.
Don't worry about the young man. I'll get rid of him.
How?
As soon as I get my daughter calmed down, I'm going to call the police.
Good.
I mean, you know April. She's so naive. She obviously never grew up.
I wouldn't underestimate her if I were you. Under those china blue eyes, there are several layers of tempered steel.
That's not true. She's so soft all the way through. She's so sentimental. She doesn't know a thing about people, and she obviously doesn't even know who her friends are. She should have been grateful to me for giving her Jaimey. I mean, lending her Jaimey. Because she thought she couldn't have a baby herself. It's Logan who was wrong. He had no right to go take that baby away from her, and she should resent him for that. And she should also resent him for the fact that he convicted Draper. He sent Draper to prison. So he was responsible for his death.
Well, Logan's going to be at the funeral tomorrow.
Well, that's true, but so am I. And by the time I'm through with April, she'll know exactly who her friends are and her enemies. You better let me get that.
Yeah.
Hello?
Raven, this is Logan. We have to talk.
Why, speaking of the devil, I was just thinking about you.
I want to talk to you now.
Obviously, you've already talked to Geraldine.
That's right, I have.
Well, look, I have plans tonight, so why don't you call later, huh?
This won't wait.
Well, then I'll see you tomorrow at Draper's funeral. We can talk then.
I don't intend to squeeze this in between the eulogies.
Well, then why don't you send me a letter, room 505, care of this hotel.
505, thank you. I'll be right up.
Logan? Oh, my God. He's here. He's coming up. He's down in the lobby.
History's repeating itself, I told you.
No. I can't. Gotta get your stuff out of here. Look, he can't find you here. Well, come on, Elliott, you've gotta hide.
Hide? Way in the closet? Under the bed? Oh, for God's sake, you separated.
Look, I cannot let anything stand in my way of getting that child back. Will you do something?